I'm Tig, welcome back to what is week 10 of me documenting my progress as a musician and guitarist. If you've been watching the last couple of weeks, you'll know the score by now. I'm working on producing 6 songs pretty much within the next couple of weeks. Actually to be released by the end of the year, but I need to get all the guitar parts recorded and the bass before I leave to go travel Asia. 3 weeks now. So things have been tight and I've been doing lots and lots, and I say that, but I don't actually have a whole lot to show for this week because I've had family here and I'm going to go away for the weekend. But I've managed to press on with some things which I'm going to get straight into and show you what I've been up to. So last week I was showing one particular piece that I was working on and showing some guitar parts for it, quite a heavy bass part. And last week was really when I started to build that out. So it was the first time I'd really thought about what's going to come past the initial idea that I had for it, which would have just served as one section like a verse or a chorus. But I had to think about how I was going to put those things together and what are the transitions going to be? Is there going to be a bridge? Is there going to be an outro? And I kind of came up with an outro last week and I was happy with it, and that's what I showed in the video. But what I didn't realize at the time was that I needed something else in between, because it wasn't going to go just going from the chorus to the outro section. There needed to be some kind of transition. And so I was playing around, kind of noodled for a couple of hours, and eventually came up with this bridge section. So you can see here it's quite a relaxed mood to it. Chords are fairly soft. Bass is kept very, very simple. And this is me figuring out the drums, which again, trying to keep fairly soft. Got a couple of snare slide sticks in there for a bit more acoustic sound. And playing around with some fills. This is the early version of the drums, they'll probably get better as well. Oh, and I had a little go at this guitar solo, you can see here. This would be a soft solo played over the bridge, not intended to be like the star of the show or really the main thing in focus for this point. But yeah, something a bit more soft, something a bit more like ambient than a typical guitar solo of mine. And then we come in with these booming and crashing drums. And last week I showed me doing this bass part with a pick, but I was playing around with it last night and I realised actually I want to slap this because I think it's just a bit more of a punchy sound, which is what I wanted to go for in this outro, something that really hits you in the face and really contrasts the soft bridge that we just had before. So yeah, interesting, I actually re-recorded this bass part to take a different approach to how I was going to play it. So that was the progress for that piece. Now I wanted to start progressing with another piece, which is an acoustic one that I actually played live a couple of days after I wrote it, and I showed in a recent video. Now obviously this is an acoustic piece, and I wanted to record at least some of that this week. But the settings were not right for me to go and get acoustic guitar recording because there was just a bit of background and I need a better sound environment to do that in, so I'm going to have to time that a bit more. However, I spent some time last night, again, noodling, whatever you want to call it, and just trying to work out what some of the fills and some of the embellishments are that I'm going to use. So here's me doing some experimenting and some thinking out loud, if you will, about what interesting fills and guitar additions might make the cut in terms of what happens at the end of each phrase or in between the chord progressions, things like that. So some of these are hit and miss, right? Some of these I will use, some of them I won't. It was interesting for me, and something I've realized over the last few weeks is just the importance of like sitting with the piece, just strumming it, kind of like, I'll say it again, noodling around with it for a bit and just seeing what comes to mind. And this is probably a very obvious thing to some, but for me, it's the first time I've been recording music in years, properly recording music to publish. And the first time I'm doing it on my own, without having other people to bounce off. It's something that I kind of had to remind myself it's important to do, to sit with a piece and to see what comes from it and to see what additions come to mind before rushing to lay things down, which I do feel like I am in a rush to lay things down and record parts, but I can't do that. So trying to be patient while also trying to go very fast. It's a bit of a balance. Anyway, that's it for this week. Hope you've enjoyed the breakdown and the insight into how I'm thinking about it and also what I'm practically doing. If you're even slightly curious about what things look like in the week to week or day to day of someone like me who's really trying to make it as a guitarist and musician and get myself out there and get better at this, then hit subscribe and I'll see you on the next one.